Hello everybody. Today we're going to make the classic Neapolitan dish, Spaghetti Aglio e Olio. Spaghetti with garlic and oil. Here it is. It's absolutely gorgeous and delicious. Now let's go into the kitchen and I'm going to show you how to make it.
All right, here we go. You have a pot. I like to use a sauce pot. Get a little bit of flame underneath there. I have a pretty big flame here. And we're going to start the water for the pasta. I put in 4 cups of water, and we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to add our salt. And I'll be back when that comes to a boil. Okay, now that the water is at a boil, we are going to now add exactly 2 teaspoons of regular table salt. Nothing special, just regular table salt. You don't want to use anything like, you don't have to use rock salt, you don't have to use kosher salt, nothing. Salt is essentially salt, and the least expensive is regular table salt. It will do the exact same thing as any other salt will do. It will make salt water. So that's what you do. 4 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of regular salt. In those ratios is the perfect ratio for pasta water. And so let's begin. We start with our mise en place, which is getting everything in order before we begin. We're going to make aglio e olio, spaghetti aglio e olio. So first we need olio, which is our oil. And I use this cruet. I kind of like it. I've cut the end off to make pouring of the oil a little bit faster. So that's our oil, and it's 100% California olive oil. Then we have our garlic, or aglio, so aglio e olio, garlic and oil, and con peperoncino. It typically has, in the classic recipe, essentially, you have red chili flakes, and normally in the summertime they can use a fresh red chili, or the Calabrian style, but in the wintertime or any time of the year, it's acceptable to use these. And of course, there's parsley involved as well. So we have some fresh parsley here. And so what we'll do in the beginning is we're going to use the parsley leaves to add in at the end of the dish. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off the leaves, and we will chop those up to be added into the spaghetti, into the dish at the end. So I'll come back when I have taken off these leaves. So now we're back. I've taken the stems off, and we have the leaves left. Of course, they're clean, and now we're going to give them a chop. We don't want to give them a very thorough chop like you would in, for example, French classical cuisine. We want more of a rough chop. This is kind of a rustic dish that's made after midnight when you come back from being at the bar or drunk and you want to eat something really, really quickly. This dish is extremely fast. It takes about 10 minutes to make, about as fast as it takes for the water to boil. You can make everything, or you put the water on for a boil. By the time the pasta cooks, everything should be already done. So you can see that the chopping of the parsley is not going to be very, very fine. It's not going to be extremely coarse. I think we can do a better job of than, for example, somebody who's been out drinking. But there we go. That should be enough. It's not exactly the most fine chop, but that's not exactly what we want either. We want a nice chop, just like that. And now we're going to get to the garlic part. You have about 1 clove per person, depending on the size of the garlic. These are about average size. I wouldn't call them big, and I wouldn't call them small. And now, some people believe, especially in Italian cuisine, that it's the center of the garlic clove that needs to be removed because that's the most pungent part. And so, in keeping with that potential fallacy, or let's call it tradition, we're going to remove the center of each one of these cloves of garlic, just like that. It's not that difficult to do. This garlic is a little bit older than what I'd normally care for, but it's okay. It's still in keeping with something from the peasant kitchens, essentially, that they wouldn't waste anything at all. So now that that's taken care of, we will go ahead and slice the garlic. Now, depending on how garlicky you want the dish to be, we can either slice it extremely fine or somewhat coarse. Now, I've chosen to do it a little bit coarse because this is more of a classic thing. And so there we have it. We're almost ready to go to the flame with all of this stuff because it's a very, very simple dish. So let's take this, put it in our bowl, and head over to the stove. Very good. And so now that our water is at a boil, we are going to add our pasta. Now I like to use only about 4 cups of water here for this. And the reason is because this pasta is going to go in there and the starches are going to leach out into the water, and we're going to use that pasta water in a few minutes when we are completing the dish to make it somewhat creamy. They call it mantecare. Mantecare, kind of like mantequilla. Mantequilla is butter. So mantecare, when you toss or saute the pasta in there, it's going to make it creamy, what they call cremosa, or butter-like. It forms a temporary emulsion between the water and the oil, which causes it to seem as if, to give it a creaminess and a texture that is desirable. So you leave it in here for just a few minutes, and the pasta will soften, and you'll be able to get it into the pot without breaking the pasta. That's another thing that you want to avoid, is any kind of breaking of pasta. That just totally sucks. Now, a lot of people think that you have to have a copious amount of water in order for this to, in order to boil spaghetti, and that's not true. You can have a small amount, and they also believe that you got to be constantly stirring, and that's not true either. What happens is that when the starches in the pasta gel, that's when they'll stop sticking together. So you do have to stir a little bit in the beginning, but it doesn't have to be constant. So there we go. We'll come back to that when it's time. So here we are with our saute pan or skillet. We're going to put a little flame underneath. We're going to add the oil. And you want to kind of be generous with the oil. This is not exactly a low-cal recipe. And it is aglio e olio, so garlic and oil. Those are the two main components. These are the stars of the show. So what we have is our oil, and then we're going to add our garlic in there too. Now, the garlic shouldn't brown. Okay, in this classic iteration of the recipe, the garlic should just become golden. All right? And what we're going to do is we'll use the pasta water to regulate the browning, or to arrest the further cooking of the garlic when it comes time. So we want it just kind of golden brown, and that's why you could put the pasta on first. You see it's sort of starting to sizzle a little bit. That's not dangerous, but it is a little bit high as far as the heat is concerned. So I'm going to turn the heat down because we want this to be ready just as the pasta is ready as well. And we're about 4 minutes out from the pasta being 3 minutes shy of al dente. All right, I know that sounds a little bit confusing. What we want to do is we want to take the pasta out of the water about 2 to 3 minutes before it's al dente. And the reason for that is because we're going to finish the cooking of the pasta in the saute pan with the oil and the garlic. All right, so we're going to keep this moving around to ensure that the garlic doesn't burn and that it just slowly turns golden, and then we're going to arrest the cooking by adding the water into the pot, or into the pan, pardon me. So I don't know if you can see it, but the garlic is now slowly turning golden. And that's about the place that we want to arrest the cooking. We don't want it to go very much further than this. So we'll add water. And that will arrest the cooking. Now, done properly, it's not gonna cause a big to-do here as far as it popping in your face, because we've done everything very, very slowly. All right? But that's the way it should look. You see how golden those cloves are? They're a perfect golden brown. And that cooking water stops it from getting any more brown, which is exactly what we want. Okay. Now our pasta is ready. We turn up the heat, and we're going to bring the pasta into the pan just like this. Now, it may seem as if there is a lot of liquid in the pan, but you'll see how the pasta sort of sucks up that liquid. In the final cooking. And you see, you don't have to be able to saute like a professional chef in order to do this. What we've got here is just fine. You can take a pair of tweezers like this and move the pan back and forth with your least dominant hand here, and then stir with the more dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, it would be opposite. I'm right-handed, so I use my left hand on the pan and I use my right hand to stir. And you can see how it's slowly taking up the water and the oil. And we probably have another couple of minutes here before the pasta is completely done. It's still going to be a little bit raw. And there's only one way to tell, and that's by tasting. Almost there, but not quite. So right when it's done, we will then add our parsley. It's almost done. Let me take it out for you so you can actually see a little bit more about how this pasta is cooking away. And that's basically what you want. You can see the creaminess that I've created there, that is a semi-permanent emulsion of water and oil. And now we'll add some parsley to it, just a little bit, and mix it in. And when we plate it up, what we want to do is kind of leave some of that garlic behind. We don't want those big pieces of garlic in there. We're going to try to not have all those big pieces of garlic in there. So let's plate this up now. And there we go. That's spaghetti aglio e olio con peperoncino. And then to finish it off in the classic style, we have a little bit of hot pepper. Actually, in this case, a lot of hot pepper because I particularly like hot pepper. And there's the classic dish. Now let's try it.
So here we are. Let's see how this tastes. Spaghetti aglio e olio con peperoncino. This is a classic Neapolitan dish. In fact, when I'm in Naples, the Neapolitans do as I do. If you like what you saw today, please like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button, push the subscribe button, ring the bell, tell your friends, do all of those things. Now, all of the amounts and everything like that are going to be on my website, gsargenti.com. GSARGENTI, gsargenti.com. If you have trouble, I'll put a QR code at the end of the video, and you can just take a little picture of it with your phone, and it will take you directly to my website. So here we go. Let's try a little bit of this. Wow. The pasta's perfectly cooked. It's perfectly seasoned. You have the flavor of the garlic, of course, and the olive oil, and it's California olive oil, so it tastes even better. That's because I'm from California. I'm a little bit biased towards it, but only because it's a great product. I wouldn't push California olive oil if it wasn't. Use 100% California olive oil. It's better than buying the imported stuff that could technically be rancid and not from where they say it really is. And then there's a little bit of the parsley and the herbaceousness, and then of course the pepperoncini, or the red pepper flakes, which I absolutely love, and a lot of Italians also love it. They like heat, whether it's pepper in cacio e pepe or pepperoncino. Some people more than others, so you add to your own taste. If you were in a restaurant, they would give you a little side thing, and you would put it on as you wish. Let me see. I really wish you were here to taste this and share this meal with me. In fact, that's what it's all about. It's all about conviviality, about getting together with friends and family and talking and eating and enjoying the time that we have here on Earth. I wish you were here, so I'd share it with you. So, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, and you know what? You can make this too. You can make it just as good, if not better, than you'd find in any restaurant. I encourage you to try. It's a very simple dish to start out with. So get into the kitchen, follow the instructions. It's so simple to do. If you make a mistake, it's okay, not a big deal. You can start all over again. You can do whatever you need to do and practice the dish. And you'll have something in your arsenal of food that you could serve to any Italian and be completely proud and know that it's an authentic Neapolitan peasant dish, and it's simple, but it's sophisticated and delicious. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Oh, God. That's so good. Come on. Get in there and make it yourself.